Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. It's been a while. We don't know what number of episode this would be, but it's good to have you. We are recording on a Saturday. It's 3 p.m. in England. It's what time is it in somewhere where you are in the UK?
10:35.
Oh, nearly 5, and Israel
10,
it's morning.
10:35.
10 a.m.
10:35. Okay, I think it was 7 a.m. Where Israel is. Yeah, and today, guys, we're talking about. You should do drum rolls. Guess what we're talking about? Drum rolls. Yeah, I felt like disappointing and say something else, but we're talking about mistakes that you may or may not have made when you first moved countries,
Pam, pam,
especially
pam.
because I just started work recently, guys, and I'm also just moved recently. I don't know if I can still say recently anymore. It's about 4 months now. But yeah, I'm trying to get just a bit of advice here and there, career advice, basically settling, moving, whatever kind of advice. And it will be good to just know from the mistakes that you guys have made and see how I can avoid such. So I don't learn from my own mistakes, I learn from yours. So yeah, who do I start with? Let me start with Israel. Israel should tell me one mistake that he has made that he thinks I should not make, but he has seen people make. Israel, by the way, makes mistakes, but as a coping mechanism, he forgets them. So if he says, "Oh, I don't make mistakes," it's probably because he has forgotten.
What?
So Israel, over
Yeah.
to you.
I mean, I don't make mistakes. Is what I'm. No, no,
Thank
no,
God,
no. So
I already told the
no,
audience
no.
that.
So I mean, I make mistakes, but for this, I'm trying to remember exactly the mistakes that I made.
Yeah,
Uh, I think probably I'm trying to think through like the common mistakes that people make and
yeah,
trying to see if I make a
any of
similar
them.
mistake. To be honest,
Okay.
so I think one thing is that in terms of community and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people just come and then they don't. For example, if you're black, you only want to relate with people that are black, right? And
Okay.
still coming from that, which I think I'm just naturally like, I want to meet everybody, and I just go out to meet
Yeah.
everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh, I also think another thing that people make is not understanding how the money system works, especially if you're coming from Nigeria,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
And then you not understanding how that works. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's also very important. Probably one other thing uh, that I should have done earlier,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't know about, was changing my. I mean, it's not like I tried to do it as much as I wanted to do, but like getting my license on time, not necessarily because I want to drive, but because it helps with insurance. More like the
Mhm.
longer you have it, the it
Hmm.
affects how much you pay for insurance if you're not getting a car, right?
Yeah.
And I also just didn't know that for me to get a driving uh test, right, it was going to take like months. Registered in November or something, and then I think it's in February or March or something that I'm going to be able to get my driving test, right? So I wish I'd done that earlier. That way I was able to like, but it's not like, in some sense, it's not like I'm getting a car very soon. So, but it's just good to have that license. I have the L1, but I just need to take the driving test for me to get the
Hmm.
other license. What else?
That's actually
Yeah,
a
I
good
mean,
one that you mentioned
yeah,
because I'm taking my theory test. In the UK, you have to take a theory test first. I'm taking my
it's
theory
the same
test
thing.
in.
It's called like knowledge test. So you take knowledge
Oh,
test your first
Oh,
year.
yeah, call it
yeah.
theory test. Taking it in December because I'm looking to get a car early next year. But yeah, thank you for the tip. I've been postponing this for a while, but now that I'll probably look into how the distance, about the period between when you take a test and when you get your car, how it affects
Hmm.
insurance here as well. So I can just uh like start working towards making widening the gap so I can save
Yeah,
costs. But yeah, Israel, yeah, you're saying something else.
but yeah, I think that's probably mostly things that I can remember. If
Mm.
I mean, you probably remember my mistakes more than I do because
I
yeah.
keep count of your mistakes.
Anyway, no, no. So funny thing here is that it's not only my mistakes. To be honest, naturally, I just don't remember some random things, and Michael remembers everything for me. Like Michael is going to say, "Oh, there was a time in primary school." I'm like, bro, I
Yeah,
can't remember.
these are memories that I owe dear to me, but Israel has forgotten them,
I
which is
just don't
I thought they
remember.
mattered to both of us. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's just move on.
So
Samuel,
he
how about you?
remembers things for me. So
Uh,
A
Yeah.
big one is definitely the like Israel definitely it's like really strong one there. With the driving for example was a big deal. For me, it was a bit different though, because I've always lived life on nitro, like nitro boost. I was just trying to go through it fast. And so the moment I had the chance to do it, I already started applying for my driver's license and things like that. Um, but I think that one of the biggest mistakes that I maybe not mistakes, but one of the things I was ignorant about was
Right.
the community. The community part is very, very important, and especially if you come to a country like the US where there's already this tension between different races and stuff. It might be hard for you to connect to people from different sides, but um you well, fortunately and unfortunately you are not from here, so you have like a couple of months before you start understanding the stereotypes and the nuances of these racial conversations, and so
Mm.
you can use your ignorance as an advantage to meet people. um I came in, already started hearing some things. It didn't help that I was home for a bit, and so I didn't go out. And then I
Yeah.
was selectively picking people that I would talk to. But
Mm.
I'm glad I learned really quickly that okay, you've got to get out of this.
Yeah.
So there was that. The second thing was definitely the fact that like um, how do I explain this? The kind of homesickness that you will get, which you at some point might get eventually, will not be. Don't do it. I see
Israel,
you're
do you
laughing.
feel homesick? Hold on a second, Samuel.
Wait.
Israel, do you feel homesick?
I'm a terrible person, so
You don't need
Wait,
to
I'm
tell me
coming
that
now. I'm
that brought
coming.
you up.
Let me finish my point first. Let me finish my
Please
point.
finish
Let me
your
land.
very
Let me
important
land.
point. This one is a great.
Now,
Please
the
finish
kind
your
of
point.
homesickness that you
Yeah.
will get
Mm-hmm.
might not necessarily be in the ways you expected, but it would
Mm.
be in like my own sickness started, or I started feeling it based on me missing the food because I was eating McDonald's every day, and that was sickness. Right, that was where I started feeling homesick. I was hearing music that did not sound familiar to me. That was where I started feeling homesick. I did not miss like when people ask me, "Do you miss home? Do you miss whatever?" I'm like, not really. Like my family is here, my friends are already they already left the country. Like there's nothing to
yeah.
look forward to
I
back
think that's one important thing for you is like your like everyone in your family is already there, right? So
there.
if you're
Hmm.
gonna miss anything, it's not gonna probably be the people per
Hmm.
se. It's gonna be more of which is when people also ask me what do I miss about Nigeria. It's obviously mostly not the people, as
Hmm.
terrible as that sounds. Uh Michael wants to say something.
Yeah,
Well,
because I'm surprised that you don't miss your family. That's actually what is hurting me right now. Like you don't miss
it
mommy.
is what it is. I mean, let's assume that I miss them.
You are assuming that you
So
need to
for
send it.
context, let's not paint it like there's that terrible whatever. Israel
There
has
is a
always
terrible thing
no.
going on.
No,
We
it's
as
more like a family. Like I love my family, right? But I think it's just that no. So no, it might give the idea of the fact that oh maybe I'm from a dysfunctional family or
yeah,
something.
that's exactly what we're trying to
Yeah,
clear up. Yeah,
like maybe my dad and
Okay,
my
maybe
mom don't
they.
talk on those kind of things. No, not that's
yeah.
not
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
But it's
love your
more of a me
family.
problem. Yeah, it's more of a
Yeah,
me problem than I mean.
you have a
So I
problem with expression of the said love.
not maybe it's not
It's
so
not even
much
that
about the
bad now.
expression. It's not so no. It's not even so much about the expression of the said love, anyways. But it's just what it is. We will dig into that sometime. But yeah, I think for me, it's the subtle
Oh.
things like oh, I can walk in I will like in OAU and just get risky, right?
Yeah,
All
yeah,
those things that we
yeah,
get to do, right? I
yeah,
can just go get to yeah, I
yeah,
can just do all those things. Like it's some of those things.
yeah,
Yeah.
Now there's no suya, there's no place to like, you go to Sean Risky's place and then
yeah.
we sit down. Those
Captain
days, Michael, do
Cool.
you remember? And then we sit down and keep whining everybody that
Just
comes
be
to be
Yeah,
like,
gisting
ah,
with
baba,
guys.
baba, all those kind of things, right? So I think it's those things that I miss. But yeah, Samuel,
yeah.
just continue
Yeah,
your
like those minor things. Like for example, you like I missed the ability to go to a place, look at something and be like, how much is this? Like I want to pay something less than this. Like I miss that. Like I can't have that anymore because everything has a flat price now. So like those are the things that your homesickness might look like, especially because you've been excited for this, for a long time. So it's not
Yeah.
like your family members are not exactly in the same location per se, for
Yeah.
you. So that's what I feel like the homesickness might be. So you might want to start preparing in a bit for that.
Yeah.
That's why now I go for concerts and shows and I buy food and I
Yeah.
cook just to keep that away. But yeah, you were going to say
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I was going to say that interestingly, I don't know if that might be something I will be able to relate to. So, for example, I actually love the fact that I don't have to interact with anyone when I go to the store. It's actually interesting. I just go and do the self checkout and I'm I'm out.
So I don't
And
I
I
don't
think
think that's the problem, but finish.
what yeah, so a part where I felt a little bit homesick, and it's so interesting because it's the small irrelevant things that make you remember home. Was when
Mm-hmm.
I was cooking, and then I realized that I did not have time.
Yeah.
Then I wanted to get time. So I
Mm.
just ran to the store. The store 5 minutes away from here, and there was all sorts of spices, but there
But
was
no
no
time.
time. I was like,
Mhm.
God, there was paprika this, paprika that, oregano, this kind of leaf, that kind of leaf, Italian this, there's Italian garlic, there's normal garlic. I'm like, time is so common
Mm-hmm.
in Lagos. It's so common in
Yeah.
Nigeria that
Yeah.
the woman downstairs is selling time.
Yeah.
So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, how can it be that you have all this, like
But
all
no
this
time.
spice, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't have time? And I had to tell my aunts that, oh, I don't know when next you're going to the African markets. I would like to get time and everything. And so for like a week or two, I was
You're
cooking
cook-
without time, and I could feel it in my taste, in my mouth, that there's no time in this food, and so it's
Yeah.
just annoying. Like I want to fry something, there's no time in it. I made jollof rice that day without time. How do you make jollof rice without time? It just feels. Do you get it? Like
Yeah.
it feels like an aberration. Like how do you make jollof rice without time? So that day I felt it, and then it now expands to other things. Like for example, sometimes I'm chatting with somebody and they're like, "Oh, they just ordered from this restaurant," and I'm just like, "You can order here, but it's not the same thing." Like the way when I was back home, I can order like iyan and egusi or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Because I don't cook those things, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get it? So I can order, for example, I've not eaten, okay, I've eaten amala once when I was with my uncle, but I'll probably not be able to eat amala again until I go to a Nigerian, or because I'm not going to be cooking amala. Sorry. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be doing that. Even if I do it, it's not, I mean, I just not cook it because I can't make it as much as the mothers
Yeah.
in back home. And I'm talking about the collective modern society, not even my mother alone. Like
Mm-hmm.
any mommy Shade or mommy Bukola or something that you meet on the
Yeah.
street, they are making way better amala than I would ever make. So the fact that I can't even if I walk 1 hour in every distance where I am right now, there's no amala for me. Sorry. So I probably have to go to London, go to some Nigerian store in London.
Mhm.
It's not like an activity. Like eating amala is
Mm-hmm.
now something that you have to plan. Do you get it?
Luxury.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
probably spend
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, 50 to 100
Yeah.
pounds. I don't know how they're selling it. So I,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to permanently miss the fact that I cannot have amala anytime I want to anymore. And
Mm.
that sometimes makes me spook. I don't think I can ever be close to amala again the way I was in
Yeah.
Nigeria. And that
Yeah.
that's something. Because
Mm-hmm.
I can't make it the way it's supposed to be made. Like
Mm-hmm.
even if I learn it, I don't think I could ever achieve the feat. I don't know.
I
Why?
mean,
Yeah.
I
Why you
mean, I
say?
think I think there's this all. If you see how those people, like if they are or having party in your house and you see how they make their amala, and it's like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that
There's no
that's when you know I'm like that's when you know amala is good, when it's like
Yeah.
yeah,
Not
when
that.
when
there's
they are
some
making
level of
and it's like, bro,
disrespect to it too as well.
yeah, exactly. There's a
Yeah.
way they disrespect
Yeah.
that you will be like,
Yeah.
oh, like that
Yeah.
thing. It's just crazy.
It's
Um.
But
so
I
bad.
mean, I think what Samuel was probably saying was more like I think at some point you would miss people, right?
Mm.
I mean, I think I am even more less of a people person
Yeah.
compared to you guys. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
It's so I think the fact that I can just wake up one day and go to a beach place, right, and just take a walk, like those things, I think you will miss them, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it also, no matter if you've done like more than two decades of your life in a place and then you move
Mm-hmm.
to another place, it's tough to have that connection, right? It's why
Yeah.
we are doing virtual
A podcast.
podcast, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough to have that build that connection again because it's just very tough. So I think also now that it's getting like it's winter already, and then it's getting dark by 3:30 p.m.
Yeah.
and getting like
Which is
8 a.m.
strange.
The
Yeah.
sun is not out. Like
Yeah.
it's depressing, right? Because
Yeah.
you're like, oh, what am I doing in my life, right? What do I? Because by 4 p.m. you're like, okay, I need to sleep now, and too
Yeah.
much sleep is a problem, right? So all those things, I think it will make you miss the sun in Nigeria, right? Like the
I
fact that you
do.
just get sun 24, like
Yeah.
almost every
Yeah, I
day.
Yeah.
Like,
actually do miss. I miss the sun, and then I miss the spontaneity that you referenced now.
yeah,
And it's about. So I miss a period that was not even an extended period, but a period in Lagos where on Friday nights at maybe 9 p.m., 10 p.m., I can decide to just go to the island to a club and I don't even have to do anything. I don't have to be with anybody. But I
hmm
know that everybody is dancing to Davido and
yeah,
everybody is
Yeah. Yeah.
vibing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, or I can just ask one of my friends that, oh, are you free? Should we go out tonight? But all
mm,
my friends who are Nigerians there, everybody is if someone is in Manchester, which is 4 hours away. I can't be just calling you randomly. So I'll go a 4 hour trip to find you so we can go to a 30 minutes club. Like
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
it's that separation is like it feels like it's permanent in a
Yeah.
way.
And I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's one of the which we might probably talk about later. I know we've talked
Mm-hmm,
about it privately.
mm-hmm,
It's more of like the people talk about the benefit of
yeah.
Japan, like leaving
Mm-hmm,
the country, but
mm-hmm,
people don't talk about the disadvantages. What happens, like the separation of family, how
mm-hmm,
you, in some sense, lose your culture and stuff. So,
mm-hmm.
I think all those things.
I
Mm.
think people
Uh,
do though. I
We
think
can
we talk
probably
about these things, but people, it seems like for people outside, it looks like we are trying to paint a picture of don't come, right? I think
will
that we
obviously
do
come.
talk about it's really a thing of
I get
oh
what
don't
Samuel is
don't
saying.
come, or you are trying to paint a bad picture. If it's that bad, why don't you come back home? And we're like, no, we're not trying to come back home, but we're trying to tell you what we look
It's
like.
also it's also like what we're missing is not at home anymore. Like you guys are not at home now. If I
Mm-hmm.
decide to even brave the madness that is Nigeria right now and go back home, you guys are not there.
Yeah.
Another close friend of mine is coming this December with his wife. There's like everybody's. I mean, someone of our friends that just announced on Twitter the yeah. So it's like what we're looking for is not home anymore. I think a
No,
solution.
yeah,
Yeah, and we can talk about it. I remember this guy, AK made a tweet, the co-founder of RiseVest, where he was talking about, I don't know how possible that is, to be honest, for most people, but he was talking about how he and a couple of friends are trying to get a place, are trying to get real estate in the US. I've forgotten the name of the
hmm
state, so they could live together. You know, I've always been talking about the fact that I want us to get a place in Europe and live together, maybe in
Yeah.
Italy or something. I
Yeah.
so desperately actually want that. I think in my brain, when I think about the future, because I'm not thinking in a family centric thoughts. It makes it easy for me to be thinking delusional things like this. Because because it's easy to think about, oh, three of
Mhm.
us can be together in maybe Italy or something and or in Rome, just living in a villa
Yeah.
and just chilling. They get it. But I mean, what if your wife does not like Italy?
So I think that's the thing, right? So I think it's not delusional. I think it just makes your life harder, especially when you're finding a partner or something. For me, when we talk about, oh, let's get a house in Rome or something, and then we live together, that kind of thing. I'm in my own mind, I'm actually thinking with my own partner, not like even alone. Like imagine everybody has their own
oh yeah,
partner,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
means
and then
what I'm saying
everybody
is that
comes in.
the equation becomes the variables are now bigger with because I know you guys want to do it
That's
now. I
and
know
that's
all
the
of you want
problem.
to do it, but now
Yeah.
when we bring up, let me now expand it even more. Let's say your partners are even down. Like, dude,
Yeah.
sure, you now have kids, and they're not thinking, do you want them to know how to speak English or what is it, or Italian, or do you want them to know how to speak French? Should we go to because maybe your wife is thinking my kids need to be able to go to British schools, or they need to be able to go
hmm
to. So it's not like are there opportunities for your kids in Italy because
Yeah.
is Italy a forward-thinking, forward-moving country? So by the time you expand it so much, I realize that I mean maybe don't let me destroy the idea
So
before
so
Yeah,
before
so
it
no no no.
like
I think what I think about that is that, so for example, I don't think in your mind you think we are going to all live together forever, right?
oh why are you talking about like a short period of time?
It's going to be a short period of time, right? And then
Yeah.
if the house is still there,
That's
say
why let's
somebody
so
wants
that's
to
why
have
let's so savage somewhere. Did you catch it?
what?
When you I was laughing when they said your
It was
mind
like,
you're going to live together forever. Like throw your queen.
Okay. Okay.
that was,
Okay.
that was exactly,
I'm so glad
Okay.
someone
it's
said
like,
Okay.
you're actually a
Okay.
good for that. What do you mean
Okay.
the right thing for them
Yeah,
to live
but
together
but
forever?
it's what the heck? So yeah, but basically,
because we
I
were
don't think
indeed thinking that we're going to live together forever.
Yes.
forever. No, 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 no. I don't. I
But
mean, I don't think that sounds.
No, that's not what I mean. In a way,
I
I feel like it can
exactly.
be in two ways. It can either be at a prime period of our life, a prime period,
Hmm.
or at a much later period of our
Mhm.
life. I think the ones that I really want so much is at a much later period. Not because I don't want a prime period, because I feel like in the prime period, which we are now, people
Hmm.
can always travel. But
Mhm.
I'm thinking when I'm 50, 60, 70. I mean, I want to travel, but at the same time, I don't think I want to be doing solo trip at that point.
No.
And I
Mhm.
also think it would make much sense for me to say I'm taking a stroll to Samuel's place. Or I'm
Hmm.
taking a stroll to Israel's place because now the kids have gone, they've
Yeah.
married, or maybe they've started doing DJ or whatever career they've chosen for themselves. It's now you and maybe your partner now, or maybe somebody's partner has died, or somebody's partner is already old. Like
Yeah.
at that point now, the community or the bond that we had in maybe high school, in uni, would now
Mhm.
be it would now be a lot more desired. Do you get? Because you're not
Mhm.
now when
Hmm.
you're 50, 67, you're not thinking where is the country of opportunity. You're just
Hmm.
thinking where is the country that is going to give me the least trouble possible, the
Yeah.
best
Mhm.
amenities, and my guys are going to be around. So I'm thinking we could live together during that period. And I'm also thinking maybe some 2 3 years, maybe okay, when you're 30, you want to spend some 3 years together
Yeah.
and everybody goes away. But yeah, how do you see it when you visualize it? When
Yeah.
you
So
visualize it
that's
like
why
that?
I'm thinking what the way that I'm thinking that say we do that like in the next when we're 30 or like in the
Mm-hmm.
next like a couple of years before
Mm-hmm.
kids come in, right? You do that, right? You live together because I
Mm-hmm.
think I was telling you guys I want to like go live in Europe for like 2 years at some point in time, right? So imagine you do something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then the house is still going to be there. And
Mhm.
when
Yeah.
any of the family wants to take vacation, even if they
Yeah.
have kids
Yeah.
now,
Yep.
they can always go there.
Yep.
And when nobody is there, you can do Airbnb. The way
Yep.
like that kind of thing, you can always rent it out. Like, and
Yeah.
then we can still always just come say, oh, let our families come celebrate. Even when you have kids, let our families come celebrate Christmas together. You can go to a
Mm.
place like that. Everybody
Mm.
like say you have like a 6 bedroom or something like that, and
Yeah.
everybody lives in that kind of place. Like, and
Yeah.
then that place is still gonna be there.
Yeah.
Probably still making money the time that you are not living there. And
Mm-hmm.
then in the when you are old and the kids are no more around, you
Yeah.
can always still do that, right? So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's not it, it's something that can be worked out, and whether kids
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
all those things
Yeah.
don't have to like stop it.
Yeah,
I would very
I
much
also
like to work it out.
agree with Israel that like there's the permanence of real estate, which is what you have. Like you have that just there, and if you decide, oh, I want to go do a vacation, yes, fine. You would always have that space. You would always have that
Hmm.
place. Now, if kids come into the picture, there's always that place.
Hmm.
Yeah.
If we at some point in our lives decide, you know what, we want a break, we want a vacation, we always have that place. And the fact that we are partnered or we're married does not mean that we have to always go to everywhere with our partners. You know, like
Hmm.
Yeah.
we did not tie us together.
You can do like
And
boys trip, yeah.
yeah, like we can always still do those things. So yes, I knew that at some point there was, at least from your perspective, Michael, you kind of want the permanence of it, of at least having that long stretch of time. Maybe it was the later part of the life of our
Yeah,
lives or
I
something.
want that permanence at the later end. I don't want the
Yeah.
permanence
Yeah,
now because there are also
Mhm.
things that I probably want to do that you guys have no interest in. Maybe there are
exactly.
places that I want to go and live in. Maybe I want to live in Australia now, and it doesn't excite you so much. They get, but that later time in life, I would think I would want that permanence.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just feel like it's there. It's also kind of a commitment to the friendship. You know, like it's like, okay, we are all trying to put this together. It's like the
Yeah.
wedding ring that you don't give your
Yeah.
bros or something. You know, like it's just we're together, it's appreciating real estate, or maybe not, but it's there, you know. And
It's
yeah,
definitely
it's
appreciating. What do you mean,
yeah.
maybe not?
I
I don't
mean,
know. I don't
real
know the
estates
landscape
don't
for
always
people.
appreciate anyways.
Yeah.
This one that's trappership that 5 by 4.
Yeah.
Who's buying
But
depositing
I mean that
assets?
also just ties into some of the other things that we've also thought about, like even if it's just owning properties in
Yeah.
multiple locations and just
Mm-hmm.
like having that,
Yeah.
I think is also like a very interesting thing, right? Because I mean, I was talking with someone, and it's like, it's hard to find, uh, like it's hard to be able to buy a place by yourself in a place like Vancouver, right? Because, bro, you have to make like 200 plus for you to buy a place,
That's crazy.
and
Yeah.
like median income is probably like 50 something or 70, like, or 70 something,
Yeah.
right? So you have to make like,
Crazy.
so that's uh very like extensive. But I even want to like dig into something. Let's dig into this, which is like, we were talking about how all these plans that we have about, oh, stay in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
affect your search for a partner, kinda, right? I want to see what you guys think about this. I was talking to
A
our
partner.
mutual friend. No, no, I was talking to our mutual friend that came to take a picture of me, like the picture
Oh,
that we posted, right? And then I was like, considering that I have all these plans of like, oh, I want to go stay in Europe for like 2 years or something, I would rather prefer that it's with a partner, right? And probably not alone, right? And that already now adds something else to the list of
things to look
requirements,
out for.
things to look out for when I'm looking for a partner. Because now I'm going to be looking for someone that has a job that is similar to mine, that can make them probably work remotely or something, which still, because it's like not a lot of people can work remotely, right? Which makes it very tough, or makes,
Someone that, yeah,
or they
makes
have
you.
like a job that is easily transferable to all those places. So
Mm.
I want to know what you guys think about that.
Sammy, what do you think? Do you want to go first? Or should I
So
dig in?
I think that first I want to say that there is the scarcity of it. You 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 might be thinking about it from a point of partner, like someone that has a partner. But I know people that did not have partners, but they don't have partners, they don't have jobs. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what I was going for. They don't have jobs, but they have enough for them to say, okay, I want to go to Italy, right? I want to
Mm-hmm.
move to this part of the world and stay there. I have friends that have done that, right?
Yeah.
Um, and they do it based on the fact that they can. So there are people that can, right? It doesn't necessarily limit or reduce your scope. I think that we just come from a point where we have been constrained by, unfortunately, the green passport that doesn't allow us to have that flexibility to just go take a course, or I'm traveling to Italy to take a cooking class, or I just want to experience the course.
Mm-hmm.
Like people do that. Like they
Yeah.
intentionally just go do those things. So you could find someone that could potentially be there, maybe find interest, maybe they are interested in wine tasting and they just want to go to a part
Yeah.
of the, so you can find it. So I would say it can be a factor to say that, okay, I need to find someone that can do this. But I think that what you should be probably focusing on is someone that is interested in that, not necessarily with the other parts you're thinking about, not the job. Um, and unfortunately, you can afford to take care of both of you, if you even if they don't have a job right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because it's not expensive to live there.
Yeah.
Europe is
It's really not
actually
expensive.
quite cheap.
So you can, if that was the case, but at the same time, knowing your kind of person, you want someone that is independent in themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
they will probably, like, these are things that and you guys know, you have a very very big front seat role into the kind of people that I like, and you know that I don't plan these things. I just happen to walk into them. Like, it's not like I say, okay, this person I'm doing this is gonna. But, so I'm just saying that to say that some of these people, you will find them, and you will find them not because you are looking.
Mm-hmm.
You find them
Yeah.
because you have that quality already. Oh, you want to
So
say,
yeah, so what Israel just said now is opening another window entirely. So I was watching Ali's YouTube. Ali Abdal. He recently got married,
oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
he moved
That guy is
to
the king of productivity.
and
Whew.
he moved to Hong Kong with his wife. He just moved away from London to Hong Kong, and that's something that you could do because he has YouTube bringing in the passive income. So there's something about Ali's career
Mm-hmm.
is a medical doctor. I mean, he doesn't practice, but he's a doctor. So
Mhm.
I think the interesting thing about this, what Israel is probably saying, the way I would agree with it, may not be that the person has to have maybe a job that's flexible or a career that's flexible. I think the way I would put it is that the person would need to be someone that is either in and of themselves creative, or they have skills that are useful anywhere. So, for example, what if Israel is the person? Let's assume that Israel is the lady. Israel is a software engineer in big tech, but the job is not remote, and then he has to leave the job to go and stay with his husband. Do you get it? But then
Mhm.
Israel can also do photography. Israel can also do videography. Israel can also do modeling, which is already currently doing. Israel also has a YouTube channel where you can put up videos
Mm-hmm.
and people will get paid for it. So it's
Mhm.
like there are this many sources of income that are not
Yeah.
even tied to the job. Do
Mm.
you get it? So
Yeah.
even if the person does not have a job that can allow them to move, or they don't even get a job, or they're even like for the next 2 years, they actually don't want to work software engineering. They get it. There are these other sources of income. And I think that's the beauty of having these things here and there that you're planting. Like, oh, you have this
Mm-hmm.
podcast that is bringing in money, and then you have your YouTube channel that is bringing in money, and then you have your Instagram channel where people are reaching out for modeling activities. Then you're doing some photography
Mhm.
as well. You might not be making 100,000 per year or whatever, but it's not like you're dead to zero. Because
Mhm.
it's not like now that you want to travel, you're going to be
Mm-hmm.
completely useless in the country that you're going to. It's There's something about maybe tying your source of income to something digital that can follow you anywhere. The same way,
You.
the reason why Israel can go and travel to Europe now and still be working, maybe is if he gets a remote software engineering job. But what if the thing that is remote is not the job, it is the
Mm-hmm.
whole source of income itself? Maybe
Mhm.
he has a business. Just imagine that you have a business now where you coach people who are trying to get a job in big tech, and you coach maybe 10 people per month, and they have a subscription base, and everybody pays $100, or I don't know, whatever amount it is. That kind of business can happen anywhere. You just have to carry your laptop, set it up on the beach in wherever country you're in, and you're good. So I would be thinking more along the line of how creative is this
Mm-hmm.
person? How resourceful? I think that's the word. How
Resourceful.
resourceful is this person, to the point where wherever they find themselves, we can work around something. We're not saying we should be getting the same income
Yeah.
that we're getting in New York. They get it, but yeah. So maybe can they? I don't. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I would be thinking. Might be the solution. But
Yeah.
you're right. It adds to the list. And also, how adventurous are they? Is this someone that might be tired after like 6 months, and they're just like, you know what? I just want to get my job back, and I'm done with this. And you're just like, ah, fuck it.
Yeah.
They get it. So that scares me a lot. It scares me a lot that you could end up with someone who's not. And people say, I mean, people say on Twitter that these fears are irrelevant. That when you get there, you guys you compromise each other. But I was like, I feel like it might be selfishness, but there
You
are some
don't
things
want
I
to compromise on.
know that.
Mm.
And if I am compromising on them, I'm remembering every day. And people are like, oh, people are like, it's be worth it. But I'm like, I know it's worth it, but I'm
I'm remembering
remembering.
that I
Like,
can't
you're
do this
making
thing
me remember
because of
that.
you.
You, and I don't
Yeah.
want to, and I don't want to say that. And I
Or
don't
I
want to
did
Yeah,
this
also
I
because
think
be
of
things
you.
like
remembering
that
that.
later
Yeah.
lead
So
to
it's not like,
resentment
yeah,
in relationships, to be honest. Because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
yeah,
It's also why I would not like convince someone to do some things for me. Like, if you like, I do I like to think about it, and this might be bad. You have a path, I have a path. Where do they connect? Right. I'm not going to
mhm,
try to shift your part into mine so that we can do things because I'm like the human condition is really complicated. Tomorrow morning, five, maybe 7 kids down the line. I don't want 7 kids, but just saying, 7 kids down the line.
that would
they're
be
like
scary.
they are telling the last kid that, oh, I wanted to do
Mhm.
this and your dad will not let me do it. I didn't force you, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So I'm just like I can't be in a position where
yeah,
like I would feel uncomfortable if someone wanted to sacrifice such a chunk, like maybe they want to
Yeah.
relocate or they want to.
yeah, like a major part of their life.
For me,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
like no.
It's also, I think that also, I was going to update my list.
Yeah,
I
you
have
were
a
telling
list
me
of,
about your list.
uh, uh,
Yeah, because
I told you,
because I think
yeah.
I was
I think I
asking
told
you
Samuel
that
too.
I think I don't know what we're talking about, but you didn't later
Did I
share.
share
You
my
said you
list
were
with
going to
you?
share
I'm not
that
sure I
list,
shared
No,
the
but let's
list.
let's dig
let's
into
talk
that
about let's
list.
dig into this.
Yeah,
Let's dig into this.
I don't think I want to share my list in public, but I was going to
I
ask you guys
do
this
have a
loudly.
list. Funny enough, like so, there was a time.
Oh, the things on my
Yeah.
list are not, they are PG.
Oh, like they are like plus
So
18.
yeah, it would be good to keep it, to keep it respectful. We have kids watching this podcast, guys. So,
Mm.
I
but
mean,
yeah,
I
Israel,
do
do you
have a
have a list?
list, but hold on.
Uh, uh, for context, guys, the list is, we're basically saying if you have a list of things that you're looking out for in a potential partner,
Mm.
So you don't get carried, because when you meet someone that is maybe really attractive and you vibe with them, you might get carried away so much that there are some standards that you set that you totally forget until maybe six
Yeah.
months down the line when they start wearing in their head. So it's just best to have that list so you can use that to always, like, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
so
talk about this
yeah,
before we
I
wrap.
think for me, my list is what you said, is so that when I fall in love with someone, I don't lose my senses. Cause I think it's better to have, and I don't see it more like as a checklist. You see someone and you're like, oh, do you meet this? Are you this? Are you that? Are
Yeah,
you that? That kind of thing. It's more like something. It's more like a guideline for a partner that you're looking for. Is the way
yeah,
that I think about it, right? And like I said, the reason is so that when you fall in love with somebody, your brain doesn't, like, you can go back and be like, oh, these are the things that I, more like the values that I was looking for with
yeah,
someone. And now that I've fallen in love with this person, do they really meet these
mm,
values, or I'm
yeah,
Mm.
just making them up? Uh, and it's also like for me, it's also not like a hard fast rule. Like, oh, like I said, it's not like, oh, I see Michael and I'm like, Michael is a boy, he's tall,
He's
he's
a boy.
fat, is,
are there
stuff like that.
non-negotiables? Are there non-negotiables on the list? Do you mind sharing your list? Do you feel safe enough to share the list to the class?
I'm not safe enough.
You
I'm
don't
not
have a
even
list.
sure.
I'm shocked you guys have a list. I don't have a list.
I'm not sure that you don't have a list, Samuel. The,
Maybe you have a mental list.
What does
I
that
don't
Samuel
mean?
know.
does not have a mental list. The
I
reason
don't
why
think.
Oh, Mike. Okay.
What
the
does
reason
that even
why
mean? Let's dig into that. Why would you say that about?
the reason why you don't have a list is very. We had a conversation about this, and
Yeah.
the conclusion that we came to, I don't know if Israel was in that conversation, is that someone is not ready to date. That's just the conclusion.
Oh, I
Like,
see. Okay. Okay.
Israel is looking towards dating in 2025,
Yeah.
and I'm doing the same, which is why
Are
the
you doing
list
the same?
exists.
This is it
Are
news
you
to
doing
me.
the same?
Okay. Thank you for even calling that. I hope to do the same.
Oh,
Okay.
that's. I mean, you started joining some groups.
Oh.
I'm considering. I'm not. I'm not. It's not the top of my priority yet, at least for the first half
Hmm.
of the year. But I assume
Yeah.
it would be. But it's also like I'm also trying to use the list to also not mistakenly fall into it. You know this thing where you're like, so I think what that also does is that it also helps you to know if you meet someone today, is this really, is this it, or is it just something
Yeah.
along the way? Do you get it?
Mm.
Hmm.
So for example, it's like, I mean, this is a very terrible example. I hope it doesn't get me cancelled. It's like when you're applying for a job.
Yeah.
You know that this is the job of your life. Like, is this the job
Hmm.
of, this is the job that will change my life? Like,
Yeah.
or this is just another one of those jobs that I
Yeah.
would get. So there are some jobs that you get them, you know that, okay, this is the job that could potentially change my
Yeah.
life.
Move things
But
around.
you
Yeah.
get a job in maybe one company now where maybe they
Okay.
don't have a
It's okay.
logo or
It's
something.
okay.
You already know that this is not the job that will change your life. This could
Yeah.
possibly not be the job. So,
Mhm.
but you still take it because in that moment it satisfies the needs that you are looking for.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But you know
Oh,
that
yeah.
you get what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
the list is also for me to know that, okay, is this really the thing that will change my life, or is just one of the jobs along the way? So yeah. But someone, you don't have a list, which is because you're not ready to do this.
So,
You
so
want to just say it?
I don't know how you guys do it, right? Because I
Hmm.
think that, like, when I think about relationships and stuff, I'm thinking, and I mean this literally. This is what comes to my head: chains.
Yeah.
Like, you're bound to this
You
person.
say chains?
Yes, chains. That's what I'm thinking.
Hey,
Like,
chained to
you're
someone.
born to this
Okay.
person. You cannot break their heart. You have to marry them. You are stuck with them for life.
Wait,
Um,
wait, wait,
That's
guys.
trauma.
Okay. All right, guys. If you're interested, because we're going to go on talking about like relationships in the next episode. And somewhere basically sees relationships as chains. And I don't mean Jerry like this. I mean chain, the kind of chain that you
Chain,
put
like
against,
slavery.
you put against in Pentecostal churches. So yeah, if you're interested, you can just eat the next episode right there. Just watch and let's pick it up from there. But yeah, bye, guys.
All right. Thank you. See ya. All right. So thank you very much for watching that episode. We continued this conversation in another video, which we are not posting next, but we will be posting after the next one. So we have our New Year special coming up, and then we'll be posting that after the New Year special. So watch out for that. It's a very interesting conversation. So see ya.